You know that feeling when you have about 50 tabs open in your brain browser and you can't figure out which one is playing that annoying music? Well, imagine living like that every single second of the day. That was the reality for a 25-year-old guy named Liam. Liam lived in a stunningly quiet valley, right in the shadow of these majestic Great Peaks. But honestly, the scenery didn't matter because Liam couldn't enjoy it. He was carrying a massive burden, not a physical pack on his back, but a heavy load right inside his head. His mind was basically a chaotic marketplace that never closed. From the second he woke up until he finally managed to pass out at night, his thoughts were racing like wild horses. He was constantly replaying regrets from yesterday or spiraling into anxiety about tomorrow. And because of this constant mental noise, the guy was just perpetually exhausted. Real rest felt impossible, his sleep was broken, and the simple joy of just being alive seemed to have completely vanished. One afternoon, things changed. Liam heard some rumors floating around about a sage, a wise elder living in a remote settlement way up in the hills. The locals said this wasn't just some hermit. He used to be a renowned scholar in the capital, a man who had mastered the intricacies of the human psyche. Apparently, he had left the noise of high society behind to live a simple existence in harmony with nature. A spark of hope finally ignited in Liam's chest. He thought, okay, maybe this is it. Perhaps he holds the key to silencing this storm inside me. So, Liam committed. After a long, grueling trek up those winding mountain paths, he finally arrived at the settlement. He found a humble stone cottage, beautifully draped in vines. And there, on the terrace, sat the old scholar. He was sitting in total stillness, eyes shut, Liam could only dream of. Liam approached him, respectfully of course, and whispered, "Master, look, my mind is a prisoner of its own thoughts. I cannot find silence. I'm desperate for true peace. Can you show me the way?" The old man opened his eyes. There was no judgment, just a gentle gaze. He smiled warmly and said, "You seek tranquility? Very well. Come with me. I have a small task for you." He led Liam over to a water pump in the garden. He picked up a shallow clay bowl and filled it with water. And I don't mean just full, I mean brimming over the rim. The surface tension was the only thing holding it together. A single tremble, a tiny shake, and it would overflow. Handing this precarious bowl to Liam, he gave his instructions. "Take this bowl. I want you to walk through the main market street, all the way to the village gate, and then come back to me. But be warned, you must not spill a single drop." Liam was a bit puzzled. He came for wisdom, not manual labor, right? But his desire to learn was strong, so he accepted the challenge. He took the bowl with trembling hands and stepped onto the cobblestone path. Now, you have to picture this. The market was at peak hour. It was chaos. Vendors were shouting their prices. Wooden carts were rattling loudly over the stones, and crowds of people were pushing through. It was sensory overload. But here is the fascinating part. Liam saw absolutely none of it. His entire universe had shrunk down to the rim of that clay bowl. He moved with deliberate precision, placing one foot in front of the other like a tightrope walker. His breath was steady. His focus was absolute. He was in the zone. Passers-by were actually stopping to watch him with curiosity, wondering what this guy was doing. But he didn't break his concentration for a second. He was on a mission. Finally, Liam made it back to the terrace. He set the bowl down and let out a huge breath he didn't realize he was holding. "Master, I have returned," he said, probably a bit proud. "The bowl is as full as when I left. Not a drop was lost." The scholar nodded, looking approved. But then he threw a curveball question. "Excellent. But tell me, Liam, did you hear the blacksmith hammering iron? Did you see the two men having a loud argument near the gate?" Liam blinked, totally confused. "No, master. I heard nothing. I saw nothing. My eyes were locked only on the water." The old man's smile widened. "That," he said softly, "is the answer you traveled so far to find." He leaned in closer. "The peace you seek? It was with you just now." When your mind is anchored entirely in the present moment, there is simply no room for the ghosts of the past or the fears of the future. You were focused only on the water, and in that focus, the noise of the world disappeared. You were not anxious, you were simply here. And slowly, the weight lifted from Liam's shoulders. It clicked. He understood. Peace isn't some destination you travel to, and it's not a gift someone else can hand you. Peace is the natural state of a mind that stops wandering and starts living in the now. Liam bowed deeply. "I understand now," he said. "To calm the storm, I must anchor myself in this moment. That is where the silence lives." As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in those incredible shades of gold and violet, and the evening birds began their song, Liam began his descent back home. But he wasn't the same frantic young man who had climbed the mountain that morning. He carried a newfound stillness within him, armed with the knowledge of how to quiet his mind. So here is the takeaway for us. If this story brought you some value, or if you needed a reminder to put down your mental baggage, please hit that like button and share this with someone who might need a moment of peace. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories of wisdom and growth. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay present and stay calm.